I'm with Natalie Meddings, author of How to Have a Baby and Why Home Birth Matters. And we've put together a little series called How to Have a Baby in a Hospital, because we feel like lots of women are wondering what it might be like in hospital and how to prepare themselves. So we're doing a 3-part series, and this little section is called Getting Ready. So Natalie, do you want to?
Yeah, I was just gonna to explain as well a little bit more what we mean is that I suppose the point is everybody's plans feel upturned. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? That most people would have been planning to have a baby in hospital anyway. But I suppose what we're meaning is, what is our understanding of hospital as it stands right now, when it seems like a place and a venue of a bit chaotic maybe to people, or much more full of variables. The more obvious things, like it sounds like it's going to be a place of maybe more urgency, etc. So there's that is what we're trying to look into, and also the fact that people who were planning to have their baby at home, as far as we can hear, a lot of people are being told that that's no longer the case. So we also want this to help people who have had to change their plans quite suddenly and overnight, who might now feeling a bit anxious. So really what we're trying to do is gather everybody together, everybody's situations together, and say, look, what can you know for absolute certain? So that's what, and this, as you said, the first section is getting ready for that, and what we can do to help you, what you can do to help yourself. So yeah, where we wanted to start was what I just said, which is the absolute certainties in this atmosphere of what we said the other day in our film. It feels like a lot has been thrown at all of us, but obviously for pregnant women who already feel a bit like birth can be a bit unknown and a bit uncertain, there may be a lot more anxiety that people are feeling because they feel they can't predict what they thought was going to happen is going to happen, or they might feel like, well, what's the hospital going to be like, or what can I expect on the day? Will there be midwives enough? Would there be surgeries ready for me if I needed that? And also, I think if we really go into the nitty gritty, I don't know if you agree with me, Jenna, like almost imagining the journey in, and that sort of feeling of like, how does it all work? And I do feel this corona situation is, especially since we're all locked in our little homes, all of us, and we can say that safely, can't we? Everybody's sort of very sequestered. It's a bit like getting out there. It also feels like the anxious, like what's out there, you know? It's like, and that was why it was lovely coming onto the doorstep last night for everybody to clap. It was like, oh, hello, everybody's there, it's still the same. And it's almost quite sweet, isn't it? Because we're all in our little houses. So the point is that in the sense that what we're trying to sort of pin down are the things that you can know for sure, given you may be feeling that you're swamped with uncertainties and unknowns and changed plans. So the first place is that I always start, whether it's, you know, these circumstances or any time in the last 20 years I've been teaching, it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff, which is that your bodies have grown, you know, a whole brand new human being from scratch. And in order to do that, the body displays huge vital competence. You know, if you're a low risk pregnancy and your scans and your midwife meetings have confirmed that your body is equipped for labour and your baby is equipped for labour, and that they're well grown and you're healthy, that is a massive certainty, a really beautiful thing to know for fact. So we want you to sit everything we're about to say on that first thought, which is, I think the place to start is acknowledge if you are having any anxiety, then you take a pause and you reflect on what is the here, the now, the absolute moment of where you are. You have your body that's still doing the same job as it was 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago. You have your health as you'll be feeling yourself right now. Do you still feel normal? Very, very likely you will. And you have your breath, which I think is a big connector, I mean, it's a cliche, but stop and breathe and just bring into focus that you are where you are right now. So that's the first thing. Secondly, that in your as you process to the day of labour, it's to get really strong in mind all the, I actually think it's a wonderful opportunity, this, because when I think people go to classes and courses normally, my sense is that people tend to learn about birth quite theoretically, quite in the abstract. They don't get deep inside the understanding that your body works. You know, there is hardware for this. You are the daughter of X, who is the daughter of X, who is the daughter of X, who is the daughter of X, going back 200,000 years because of evolutionary biology, not because you went to NCT classes. No. So it's like getting really clear on the hardware of birth, on that there is a program running in your hypothalamus that will tell you what your body's what to do, has never been more pertinent. And here's the hard bit. You have to find that, you have to feel that, but that is a precious opportunity that I don't think has been open to women in more normal times, because they just kind of, it gets, people learn about birth like an A-level. That ain't it's just not any use. Blows away in the first stiff wind, isn't it? So this is now forcing us to come into ourselves.
Yeah, it's like you say in your book, that gorgeous line about you're remembering, you're not learning birth. It's like it's innately through us, isn't it? From mother to mother, great-great-great-grandmother to great-grandmother to grandmother to mother, you know, to daughter. It's innately in us. It is part of, you know, creation. It's so natural and normal and safe because it works. It proves it works. We're all here, so we can trust it. And like you say, you can't learn it. You got to feel back into that.
Sorry, just to say that in case people are thinking, yeah, but what if, which is usually what people do, isn't it? That this also forces us to engage with what I also teach is what I call the triple lock safety, which is like, so people say, but it isn't always healthy, it isn't always safe. How can you say that? But you are just invited in this circumstance with Corona, but it should be the case at any time that people should be reflecting on this deeply, which is the three layers are, first, what you just beautifully said, which is that it's in us, the body has a biological imperative to reproduce, right? So there is just that hardware there. Secondly, anyone who's about to give a birth soon will have had the great benefit of living in the UK, where you have antenatal assessment. And what is a midwife assessment and care? It's basically an opportunity to confirm that you're well or not. So when we come out of our midwife appointments, we shouldn't, sometimes people go, oh, phew, you know, my baby's scan was good. Actually, not a few. It's like throw your hat in the air, hooray, because what that's saying is you are equipped for labour. The baby's equipped for labour. And the phrase I really love, the midwives use, which is, have you got a well-grown baby? So a well-grown baby and a healthy mother is the second layer of safety, because that means you are ready for birth. So you've got the ancient knowledge inside your body, DNA style. Then your own pertinent health, your health currently, is also the second layer. And then the third layer is midwife care on the day, which you will have. So there's like three layers of safety. So that's in case anybody out there is saying, oh, but it's all very well to say it's safe, look at all the statistics. You know, we as doulas see hugely healthy, normal outcomes for low risk women. So we're talking about generally uncomplicated pregnancies. If you have a complicated pregnancy, you will already be under more obstetric care, and they will be keeping an eye on that. But we are talking like, if there is otherwise no issue, you need to and can turn inwards to your own deeply competent hardware, you know, your body's own ability to give birth in the way you're saying. And the second way I teach it, apart from that safety concept, is I get people to understand, I like people to understand birth as not as a process or a set of choices or a plan or an experience, but as an urge, like a physical urge. Labour is an urge that the body needs to express. So when you got up this morning, the first thing you need to do was go to the loo and have a wee. You know, you didn't argue with that. You knew you had to. And why did you do it? Because every single person in the world has to. Just think of that. I mean, you know, we all have to do that function, and we don't debate it, you know, and we don't wonder how to do it, you know. Secondly, when you get hungry at lunchtime, you don't go to the fridge because you just, well, we think we've gone there because it's lunchtime, but actually it's because our tummies are giving us a signal. The signal is that blood sugar is dropping and we need some food to kick that back up. When we get sleepy tonight, you know, your eyes get heavy, you start wanting to lower the lights, you're starting to switch down thinking, and you want to lay flat. Those are signals from your body. So birth expresses itself in exactly the same way as a series of signals, physical signals. And so, you know, these things are going to happen for birth too, and they would have happened with or without corona. And I think this is a vital opportunity for people to really get to understand what their antenatal teachers meant when they said your body knows what to do, or if their antenatal teacher said to them, trust your body or listen to your body. These, in normal times, these phrases float off and people go, oh yeah, I'll just do some hypnobirthing and relax and you know, but I think you've really got to understand what we mean when we say it's instinctive. And this is a powerful tool in these times to really turn inward and take pause and reflect on the unbelievable amazingness of how clever it all is. So that's the starting point.
Yeah. So shall I talk now a little bit about, so we're talking about tuning in. So shall I talk about how to tune in? Because everyone might be watching this thinking, so what does that mean? You know, if you're kind of a busy, working, pregnant mum, which so many people are these days, you're going to be very much up in your headspace. You're going to be in your head a lot. You're going to be thinking a lot. You're going to be busy. You're going to be doing. And I think that's why sometimes when some women are kind of worried about mat leave, or they find it hard to kind of settle into mat leave, because it's a different process. When we're up in our head all the time, we're not in our body, and actually we're not tuned in, because the kind of the head thinking is all external factors, isn't it? It's all external factors, what we're doing, who's saying what, all the external noise, social media, the news, what you're reading, what you're watching. Whereas when you're in your body, you're not really thinking anymore. You're feeling, and you're feeling, you know, how you feel. You're sort of tuned into your emotions. And so we need to get from our thinking, overthinking space in our head into our body. And I always think a good way to think about it is think about when you were last relaxed. Like, what were you doing when you were relaxed, when you were just not thinking? I mean, rarely these days women have periods, long periods of not thinking. And I think for everyone it's different. Like, some people, you know, they're dancing to their favorite track around the kitchen. You know, you've just switched off. You're just in your body having fun. That is what I mean by getting in your body. You're just not up here sort of getting anxious. And some people, you know, they go for a nice long walk, or we were talking earlier about they chat to a friend, and we'll come more to that. Or you might have a nice relaxing bath, or use nice scents. But it's your thing. And I think we can't, like you were saying again, we just go, oh, we'll hypnobirth and be fine. It's not about that. It's about tuning in to your thing. And like, I know for one woman, that was going to boot camp. She loved exercise. She loved it. It switched her mind off, and she went to boot camp, and she had a phenomenal birth, like, because she got into her space of where she wanted to relax. So there's not a set thing. You don't have to follow what everyone's saying.
I think the phrase is lose yourself, isn't it? How do you lose?
Yeah, totally. Just lose yourself. Go to that place where you're just, you know, being mindful. I was colouring with my daughter earlier, and I was thinking of nothing. I was just trying to stay in the lines. That was all that was in my head. I was just so specifically, I was this tiny pen, and I was colouring in these mermaid rocks with a rainbow colour, and I was like, I just want to get this right. And that was all my head was thinking about. It was so simple and mindful. So I think those kind of things is how you get ready, because you're in your last weeks, which we were saying earlier, it's an extension of your birth, your last weeks that turn to days, that turn to hours, that move you through to meeting your baby. It's all one long road. And I think the getting ready is, like we keep saying, we're tuning in. We do have to take responsibility for that. Again, like you said, we have to find that way to connect. We can't run around all day being busy and not finding that quiet time. It won't connect with birth. Birth is about being in your body and letting your body take over from your mind. And if you've had no practice at that, of course you're going to wrestle and struggle and find it hard to let go and release to the feelings in your body. But if you've had a gentle practice every day, some beautiful rituals where you really connect with you and your baby quietly, then when that quietness comes in birth, when you have to let your body take over and your mind starts going quiet, you can let it and you don't fight it and you can move through more smoothly, I think. So I think it's just finding those daily rituals. And we were talking the other day about a lovely woman you were supporting, and you said she had a few little things that she did in the day that really helped her. Do you want to talk about those?
Yes, because just in case anybody's hearing that and thinking, oh, I can't relax, because there's something that's come to mind as you were speaking, it's also true, is that in the light of coronavirus and being locked in our houses, and we are all only on week 1, is I suppose people are having rested off them their usual routine, and then that also is a sort of a recipe for anxiety, because I suppose they've got more time on their hands and more space, and strange space, because they're not used to being locked in, so they kind of can end up with more anxiety, can't they?
Yeah.
So just to sort of reassure anyone who's thinking, I can't relax, sort of almost that instruction to relax, of course, makes it hard to relax. So as Jenna says, it's not about conventional sort of lying back with a candle or anything in the bath. It can literally be any form, and if you really do struggle to stop swirling thoughts, which I do, what I was suggesting to this woman, and she had very high anxiety, is that you create a little kind of highly systemized set of rituals. So 2 things that soothe the nervous system are ritual stuff and rhythm. There's that famous midwife, isn't there, in America, that says if ever you see a simple birth, it's normally 3 R's. Is it ritual, rhythm, and relaxation? And ritual and rhythm lead to relaxation. So even if you don't easily find it possible to sort of go drop out and let your minds drift, which I don't, I do get lost in cooking, for example. So so this morning we were saying, okay, start the day and have a plan that, you get up and you do things the same way every day. So, and I'm literally only talking simple stuff like, I have my shower, I put nice oil on I oil my body, because it's nice to do that in pregnancy. It's a good soothing self-massage.
That's lovely, the oiling,
yeah. And there's a great, actually, I love Willie DeZarnica for afterwards, by the way. I've heard that's a really great, it's very soothing for post-birth, but something simpler, just a nice oil blend you could make yourself. That would be one sort of little ritual. And then it's like, right now I've made my breakfast. Now, here's the thing. I am self-employed and at home a lot. I imagine a lot of people have been used to working in office space and commuting and pregnant. This is all going to be really new territory anyway, to even, I'm working with people and they get takeout for everything, and they don't. How many people have a proper formal breakfast anymore? Yeah. I do, because we just live at home all the time. But I wonder, so even getting a lovely, nourishing habit of sitting down with a cup of tea and a fried egg, it does literally just like, right, I've done my shower. You haven't got anything else to do. It's like, settle down, make a nice breakfast, maybe sit with your partner and create the table. I wonder if many people actually lay a table anymore. I don't know. But I sit down. It can literally be like, turn the radio on, make my breakfast, then between us, which you could talk about, we were saying that the next thing would be maybe mid-morning I speak to my friend or whatever. Say about that.
We were saying about downloading, weren't we? Because something we both do with our clients is, our mums we support, is we listen. Sometimes you just need to talk and be heard. So not talk in a conversation where you're going to be interrupted or someone's going to throw in their 2 cents or whatever. You're just talking to be heard. And there's a lot of power in bringing what you're feeling and verbalizing it. It's like you could journal as well, you could write it down, but even stronger is to talk it through with someone. And I think if you have a really good friend who's a really good listener, and you literally like prepare her or him and say, I just want to talk something through, will you just listen for a bit? And just download all over them. You know, just get it out until you've run out. And I watch with the women I'm with, you know, I arrive at their homes and they're very much like, they've got a lot on their mind and things going really fast. And as they've like verbally release it, you see their whole body language change, their tone change, everything softens and releases. And it is a release. You're letting go of all those worries that are stuck in your head. You're just getting them out. So I think having a friend that you trust as well, that trust to listen, because you know we all have really chatty friends and good listener friends, all friends for different parts of our life, but a friend who will just be with you and listen and be quiet, and so you can just get it all out.
Another version of that, can I suggest? So I've just discovered this morning, which is frankly hilarious, that my children started writing letters to their friends. And so I'm just wondering if it might be nice to, and they've never written letters, you know, young generation. So she said, oh, it's really fun because you can sort of draw little pictures and recipes and you can tell them, and you think of things you wouldn't normally say. So there's another way you could do it, is that you could write letters to your baby, or, you know, that you're going to be in a box for when they're older, and it could be like a journaling that has a point, which I used to write letters to them when they were babies, but you could do it while they're still inside and say, today's really weird in the world, this is happening, but you know, you're snug and safe inside and we're looking forward to you coming, and just say how you feel to your baby. So even if you haven't got like somebody that, you know, because it you know, it might be that people haven't got time to spend a long time listening to, but if you have got a friend you can decompress with, brilliant. Even if, I think even someone you can trust, just to say hi. And then I've got, with my husband, I always say, is everything going to be all right? And he goes, yeah, everything's going to be all right. And that's it.
That's what I do with mine. And he just comes back to me and goes, yeah, you're fine. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's just so sure. So
yeah,
sure.
And it's a bit like what's going on with this contagion. This sort of, there's a bit of a hysterical reaction around it. It depends who you're listening to, which brings us to our other point, which a couple of our mothers that we're supporting, that Jenna and I are supporting, is a woman, and she's just switched off all her social media, which I strongly recommend that if you are going to listen to anybody, if you're going to listen to switch into the world, do so at a set allocated time with control. I think the news, or with your husbands, with partners, or friends, whoever you're living with, sitting with you, and not just sort of scrolling. You know, this is just going to be very, very bad. You know, you do not, you know, in an agitated fashion, just let any kind of unfiltered message hit your mind. That is really, and you wouldn't do, think of it this way, when your baby's here and your child's here, you are absolutely primed and tuned to protect them, and you will know how to do that, to look after them, right? Well, think of it that all of that detritus is flying through your phone into you and not of no help to you and your baby. So it's just not right. And I'm going to be quite opinionated about that, because I just think it needs a filter and it needs editing. And if you are going to tap into what the world is saying, then make it at a set time where you can control it and you switch it off, but you don't switch off, as you don't keep just letting it come, and you switch off formally from it. And,
sorry, you go.
No, go on.
I was just going to add to it, because I've obviously, you know, I'm quite open about the fact that I suffer with anxiety, and I have done my whole life. And something that has really helped me, and I read it in an article a couple of years ago, and it was actually a little meditation, but the phrase that has stuck with me, and I use it almost daily now, is I create my own security. And it's something I use often. And that is exactly what you're saying about, we do have to take responsibility. We do have to say, I am going to create my own security. But also, I find it really useful in what, you know, blocking out what I need to. But like sitting here right now, as most women are when they're feeling anxious, they're in a very safe place, but their thoughts are making them feel unsafe, and they're having, you know, anxious reactions to thoughts. So I come back and I kind of take a few deep breaths, and I put my hands on my belly, and I just, I create my own security. And something really calming about it, like I know I'm safe. I'm creating my own security. I'm in my home. I'm with my family. I'm sitting here. I'm breathing in this space. You are completely safe. In the moment, you are completely safe. It is just your thoughts, like, running away. So I don't know. I just find that phrase, it just connects with me. And, it might be another phrase that connects with them, but it's just, like you say, we have to control that. We have to, everything we read, see, listen to impacts us. Everything. Even everything around your home, that's why we say about putting affirmations up. Not many people buy into that, but it's really impactful. If every day you're seeing, I trust my body is the perfect size for my baby, I have amazing ability to give birth, I trust myself, I'm safe, I'm at peace. If those messages are around you, even subconsciously, it does sink in. The same with having, being too busy or too stressed, that sinks in as well. So we do have to let ourselves settle. Like you use that word so beautifully. We have to let ourselves settle and just let it all fall away and get that bit quieter and just come to ourselves a bit more.
Okay, so we didn't quite finish off on the rituals and pattern of your day. The phrase I would like you to have in mind is, imagine as you wake up, it's almost like see either a beautiful meadow or a woodland or something, almost like clear a path, like through the space. Like, so you are in charge of clearing a path through a big high grassy meadow or something, or think of the woodland path or something, where you literally can lay down a path for yourself, literally. So, starting with the shower and the nice breakfast, and then you read a bit or you write a letter. In the afternoon, after lunch, you take a walk. It's really important. You're allowed to take a walk. We're all allowed a bit of exercise. So one of the things I'm always telling women to do is I call it, have your runway walk. And if you have your runway walk, and that means the same journey, the same distance every day, you then feel the deepening drop of your baby. So Jenna just said that the birth is a kind of 6-week process, and it is your baby is descending with every week. And when you walk, you connect to that. And all this fear about dates and going overdue, when women connect to the changes in their body from 3 weeks in advance of labour, they become very confident because they get it. They get, okay, pelvis is even more softer, baby's even lower. I feel like my knees are more sort of givey, And if you're walking each day, there's blue sky and it's the spring, and we check in with where we are right now on the walk. The other thing is that the movement and breath syncs up. You synchronize, a nice even walk. You sync up breath with movement, which is what you're going to do in labour. So that is, if you aren't easily able to relax, no one is immune to the benefits of walking, because it basically forces the breath and the body to work together. It's very hard to stay uptight in your head if you're walking smoothly, actually. If you notice, it kind of basically brings you down into your body. So that walk, the steady, even pace, once a day, 2 p.m, whatever it is, for 40 minutes, will connect you in so many ways to what's coming. It's like you get in touch with your body. You also, as I say, can feel the baby engaging and gearing up. That is a reminder of the certainty this baby's coming. This baby is going to do its thing. So that was one. Was there anything else we can think of to help with? When I was thinking, the bath at the end of the evening, I do think a shower, close the day, how to close your day,
Yeah, and I think just coming back, so you kind of laid out a day, but also just coming quickly back to the movement element. I think any movement is really important because it's moving energy. So if you are having a bit of an anxious day or you're overthinking, as soon as you move in a new way, you're shifting that energy. We both teach pregnancy yoga. We know the benefit of connecting body and breath, and just like the walk, it's anything that moves and shifts your energy. I think is really important. Something nice and mindful. Like we were talking about the colouring, but it doesn't have to be that. But that is a doing activity. But it's a doing that is mindful. A doing that takes you away. So I think any activities like that are good as well. But yeah, just punctuation marks in your day. these beautiful rituals.
And cooking, as I was saying earlier,
oh yeah,
a lot of people won't be used to using their kitchen, but actually, I think if you've never baked, learn to bake. You know, you need it for family life, and I think it's very useful for family life to know how to do stuff in the kitchen. So that might be something.
Oh, and something else as well, which I think can be really nice in late pregnancy, is reading a non-baby or parent book. Because I think women in late pregnancy, they read everything, birth, baby, parenting, you know, everything. And just reading a fiction book, just pure escapism, like go somewhere completely different. Because I think we can put too much focus, way too much focus on all of it. And then our body gets a bit shy, and, you know, we'll talk about that next. But just don't put all your attention on it.
We're definitely going.
Oh, I missed that.
True. Do you know in the old days, people in my mum's era were told to read a book in early labour.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's what midwives used to tell you to do that. And my mum read a book over a bath. Basically, you would have, that sounds a bit weird, but we'll talk about it. But basically, they taught you, this is pre-active birth yoga days, you leant forward over a bath at the side of a bath, and with the book in the bath, on the bottom of the bath. Isn't that funny? Because that combines with what you're saying. Because it would distract the woman, and she was leaning forward, baby hanging forward, off the back, no backache, sway their hips probably while they're reading. What a great way to get through a few hours. You know, so exactly that, we're jumping forward there. That's for the next section, but this kind of closes the
so we'll leave it there for part one, because I think we've covered loads of lovely rituals, given your day a bit of a plan, talked about the safety element of birth, and just tuning in quietly to your body and coming back to that trust. I think that's what yoga's brought me in my life, which is the same as what we're talking about, that ritual. It has brought me an enormous trust in myself. And if people are with themselves in that deep, connected, I'm in my body, I'm not listening to everyone else, you do hear your own voice more, and you do trust yourself more. And when you're in birth and you feel like, oh, I need to move like that, and someone says, do you? You're like, yeah, I do. You find your voice as well. You do find your voice. But yeah, we should probably leave it there.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. We'll be back soon. Bye.